In the world of business building, we often wonder if it could get any more complicated. GRC, GDPR, ESG, zero carbon, green hydrogen, cybersecurity, and big data. Let's not forget the long funding processes that can make you crazy. If you are a world changing founder and innovator, how do you connect with the support that you need to move ahead? Well, this podcast puts the people, planet, profit through partnerships theory to action by helping you to see opportunities in every episode to create a meaningful partnership. The innovators, experts, and diplomats we interview are all looking for partners, and that could be you. No time like the present to find out. So welcome to Frontrunners Innovate with your host, global business developer Mary Kurek. So hello, everyone. Today we are talking with Justin Breen, founder and CEO of BrEpic Communications, headquartered in Chicago. And we're focusing on a sort of paradigm shift for a lot of people who are on the entrepreneurial journey. And it's the reason, actually, I wanted him to be on my podcast. You see, in the world of creating impact through innovation and enterprise, we can get so tangled up in repeating patterns that don't get results. We tend to get frustrated. You know, this can dismantle us and our families. So we really want to kind of move out of that into new mindsets. And Justin's, I think, the right person to help us do that. So he has this uncomplicated and more human-centered approach that, in dealing with entrepreneurial development that will have you kind of wondering if maybe working on external things needs to shift into more working on the internal things, mainly the mindset that you have going on there. So let's get to know him a little bit. He is the best-selling author with a book entitled Epic Life: How to Build Collaborative Global Companies while putting your loved ones first, which I love. I think that's something that we're all trying to do. And just so you know me, I'm Mary Kurek, your host of Frontrunners Innovate and the president of Frontrunners Development, a global business development consultancy connecting partners for business and impact. It is my pleasure now to introduce you to journalist turned successful global network builder, author, and entrepreneur, Justin Breen. So Justin, welcome. Thank you for joining us and spending a few minutes with us and letting us pick your brain. But before we pick your brain, let's talk about, how did you get from journalist to entrepreneur? That's quite a bit of a leap there.
Yeah, it's a good one. Thank you. A real honor to be here. We're heroes to the same visionaries. Purpose of life is to connect visionaries to serve humanity. I've never really understood business owner stuff. And then people like us are usually aliens within their own family, community, and verticals. The only people that understand us are top entrepreneurs on planet. And then most people just kind of stare because they don't. It's a different mindset. It's a different way of living life. So for 20 years, I was an entrepreneur who happened to be a journalist, wrote about and connected cool people changing the world. And now as an entrepreneur, I just write about and connect cool people changing the world to serve humanity. Before it was for the media company, whether it was a newspaper, online site, or a magazine. And now it's just for the visionaries. It's for the visionaries.
Fantastic. I was just telling Justin before we came on record that I've spent some time reading his book and was fascinated. And there was a lot of sort of twisty-turny things that I would say would, contradict what a lot of people think of as sort of the mainstream thinking in the entrepreneurial journey. And before I get into that, I want to ask him about the contacts he made. He made about 5,000 plus contacts when he was getting into his entrepreneurial path, transitioning from journalist to entrepreneur. And out of that 5,000 plus, he made 5 new clients, he says. What was your offering at that time to those people? Is what I want to ask.
Anything.
I want to know from you, what kind of experience and credibility did you push forward to them to get them to convince them to take you on?
It's a great question. And there's a 4-step journey for anyone starting a company. All I do is talk to top visionaries on planet and turn what they say into patterns. That's how my brain works. Yes. Almost everyone I talk to is ADD, diagnosed or undiagnosed. I'm not. I'm ultra focused. But so most of the folks I talk to are blah 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 blah, and then I take out the stuff that, you know, I can filter into a pattern. But
Mm.
so the first step of starting any company is get to get, which I was in full get to get mode at that point. Then there's get to give to get, and then the true visionaries give to the people who get it, which is where we're both at, give to the people who get it. But strictly get to get, reached out to 5,000 people to find first 5 clients while I was working full time at half salary after my job salary as a journalist got cut. That was so February 10th, 2017 had job salary cut. April 16th, 2017 incorporated with 0 business background. That was 6 days after turning 40. And then from April 16th to June 1st ish, I reached out to those 5,000 people to find first 5 clients. And I guess what I was offering at the time was social media press releases, which I literally
Yeah.
current company based on how press releases annoyed me for 20 years, but at the time I didn't know what to do. So so anything like that, and you know,
Mhm.
just connecting people, and was able to get a hodgepodge of 5 clients, and then resign the next day. And then Robert Feeder, who's since retired, I don't like to say that word at all, but that's what he did. He retired. So that was he did a story. I'd started my own firm. That was June 5th, 2017. But no, it was just pure get to get, and that's totally fine. I mean, totally
Yeah.
fine. Started, but a lot of people stay at that, which I don't understand. I don't understand that, but a lot of people stay at that their whole
Yeah.
life.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I love the share that you did at the very beginning of the book about your dad and how much you paid attention to that, because you lost him pretty early in your life. But he really made a dent on your mindset, and cream of the crop is what you said that you kind of, it was sort of the mantra he left behind for you.
Yeah.
And I see how that sort of made an impression in all that you do.
Yeah.
But what I wrote down and the notes I took, I'm a note taker, so that's just the way it works with me, how it cements in my brain.
Yeah.
There's a quote that that you use that speaks to the quest for how top entrepreneurs manifest their greatness. And I think it kind of relates to that cream of the crop thing, that he or the cream rises to the top, whatever. They never make excuses. They only make investments. I want you to elaborate on that, if you will, a little bit.
Thank you for bringing up my dad. I never get tired of talking to him. Or talking, well, I do talk to him still, even though he's long gone, but
Yeah.
talking about him. And then our sons one is named after him, and they're both little versions of him. No excuses. So it's really interesting to see him through them.
Yep.
They're 9 and 11. But so just as context, my father was 61 when I was born, so that's unusual to begin with.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
he was born in 1916. So he survived Spanish flu, World War I, the Depression, was shot down multiple times in combat in World War II, many times without a parachute, would just get back into a plane, became attorney in Nuremberg Nazi war crime trials. He was a brilliant writer. His best friend was killed in a famous mafia hit. And then he met my mom in his late 50s after a drunk driver hit him. The drunk driver was killed. My dad broke every bone in his body and survived. And then he woke up and thought he was dead. And my mom was an angel, but it was his nurse. My mom was his nurse. That's how they met. And she was 27, so 34-year difference. And then my mom is pure hustle, no excuses, like just pure. I mean, no. And you know, when my dad was alive, he would say every day the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily understand, I didn't really understand what that meant until becoming a journalist and working way up to the Chicago market. And then certainly as an entrepreneur, I mean, you don't make excuses. And again, my brain turns everything to patterns, everything. So, and all I do is talk to top visionaries on planet. And then there are four things that separate visionaries from everyone else. And 4 things are bankruptcy or potential bankruptcy, 2, depression, 3, highest level of anxiety that you can imagine, and 4, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. And so for non-visionaries, those are excuses. For visionaries, no excuses, only action and making the investment in time and energy and money. I mean, that's what separates visionaries from everyone else. And frankly, I don't understand most of society who makes excuses. It's very confusing to me. I don't know why you'd ever make an excuse. You just
some people would turn that around and see those as opportunities actually to do something
100%.
positive, or to, how many great people do we know that had a teacher that said you'll never amount to anything, that
every visionary,
one statement,
every single visionary. Yeah, because well, so what again, everything's a pattern. So the opposite of visionary abundance investment mindset is non-visionary scarcity cost mindset. And where you see non-visionary scarcity cost mindset in the big verticals, which would be education, higher education, religion, the law, healthcare. So I talked to visionaries who happen to run a business school, a visionary who happens to run a financial practice, a visionary who happens to be in healthcare, a visionary who happens to run a law firm. There's a fundamental difference between that, but no. And then thank you for saying what you said about the teacher. I can't tell you how many teachers, said that to me. And then how many folks with ADD or who are visionaries that were relegated to special education classrooms or just given a home and kicked out of school. Because they don't follow the order. They don't follow the path of because ADD disorder, right? It's not a disorder at all. It's a genius that's completely misunderstood by humans. So they label it a disorder. It's not a disorder. It's just the opposite of what they want. So that's really what a visionary is. They're just around this world. They look human, but they're really just aliens in a human world.
I can attest to that. They that whole thing about go to the beat of a different drummer type of thing, and maybe that's true to us to a certain extent. But we talked when we first talked. I told you my son was ADD, but he went through. He was labeled learning disabled, but his IQ was up there. They could not figure out what he's not elevated to the level. He's not working at the level he should. Was because he was bored.
Bored out of his mind. Literally, he's bored out of his mind. He's literally bored out of his mind. Literally. Think about that. So I like to think about phrases like that, and then wait, what does this actually mean? He was literally bored out of his mind.
His mind. He was inventing things to entertain himself.
Correct.
that was it. But anyway, I like this conversation around mindset a little bit, because I think that's really the thing that changes the one kicker, the tool that we can work with that changes everything. So having the right mindset creates the right network. I'm quoting you in the book, which creates the right opportunities for you. So here it is. I have not done outbound sales or gimmicks in years. I just build my mindset every day. My companies only partner with visionaries who live in abundance and look at things as investments. And I want everybody to get this. I want you to hear this. As investments, not costs, which attracts other leaders with the right mindset. At this level, there is no competition. One of my takeaways, and I don't even think you actually defined this in the book, but I noticed you kept referring to people as partners. And most of us would refer to them as clients. So you started out when you were doing the entrepreneurial journey at the very beginning. I think they were clients. You secured clients. But as after about chapter 3 or 4, they became partners.
Yes.
And you didn't actually define that, but I got that.
Wow, that's high level that is very high level intuition. Wow.
Talk to us about this mindset shift. Or was that just you?
Well, I mean, so this is how I learn in real time. I mean, that was very profound what you just said. If you're not a litmus test for people you serve, that's hypocrisy. And then I just connect visionaries to serve humanity. So I'm a visionary serving humanity, but you just described, I'm guessing, well, it was because you brought the unconscious into the conscious and the book, that's, you just brought that out into the conscious, because like they were clients when I started because I was in get to get mode.
You were getting yeah, get to get.
So that shift in give to the people who get it, client becomes partnership, triple wins, quadruple wins. And I know you have a global audience, and I'll try to simplify what a mindset is for your global audience, if it's helpful. It's okay. So everyone I talk to is an American, regardless of where they live, where they're from, if they've ever been to America. It doesn't matter. And so I'll explain what that means. So America's mantra or slogan or phrase is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So every visionary, now again, I'm not talking about business owners or humans or consultants, pure visionaries, okay? Pure change in the world. Every visionary is life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's what a visionary is, okay? And I talk to I talk to people around the world, but I talk to a lot of Canadians. They're all Americans, but they live in Canada. Okay, so or they're all American mindset, but they live in Canada. So Canada's slogan or mantra is peace, order, and good government. So that would be the opposite of a visionary mindset. And most Americans, people who live in America, most of them are actually Canadian. They're actually Canadian mindset. So humans, they're Canadians. They're Canadian mindset. Peace, order, good government. That's fine. The world needs more peace, order, and good government than life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I mean, it's good to combine both, but if everyone was a visionary, it'd be complete anarchy. It would not be life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It would be complete chaos. It'd be insanity. So the world needs more Canadian mindsets than American mindsets, but it doesn't matter where you live if you have the right mindset. It's immaterial, because of your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and you want to be connected to other life, liberty, pursuit of happiness who will not make an excuse, who will not ask what do you cost or charge, and who won't live in scarcity.
I almost think that you just explained the political system.
Well, yeah, there's one vertical I totally ignore. There's only one vertical I completely ignore. Completely. That's politics. It's not because I don't like it. I have no idea what's going on. Well, it's the opposite of visionary abundance investment mindset. It's literally the exact opposite of that. So I just ignore it.
It's a power play, power mindset.
Yeah.
One thing that I think struck me about you is, and I don't know if this goes along with the ADD part of you or what, but
well, I'm not ADD. I'm minor Asperger's, ultra focus.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's right. I think I remember us talking about that. Is that you're such an advocate for tests, using tests as resources and as tools to utilize for being able to do the work that you do. And I would like for you to kind of explain how you use them and, help others to see the value and how they might be able to use them for themselves in their businesses.
Sure. So I see the world in numbers and keywords. My wife, who is pediatrician and COO of second company, sees life in harmony and relationships. My partner for second company sees life in empathy and maximizing that empathy by being super competitive. So it's my weaknesses, it's an opportunity to find collaborative strengths, and you can find your strengths and weaknesses, which are both just as important, by taking these tests or assessments. I mean, and any visionary, I know when someone's not a visionary, when I say, oh, these would be great to take, and they're like, oh, what's the cost, or I don't think I need that. I'm like, okay, you don't understand, and it's fine. So a visionary always wants to learn, because life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. If I can provide something that will provide more of that, then you'll take it. So that's when I know it's the first, I guess, test. It's the test is actually a test, which is interesting. It's like a test if you're a visionary or not. So my favorite by far, thank you for taking it. I appreciate that you took it, but my favorite by far is Kolbe, Kolbe,
Yeah.
Kolbe.com. I'm not affiliated with Kolbe at all. But it measures how your brain takes action. It's not your personality. I don't care what your personality is. Just want to know if you're going to actually do something. And the overwhelming majority of visionaries are like you. In Kolbe, high quick start, that's boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
idea, that's ADD, and then little to no follow through. Just and shiny object, a squirrel. Okay. And then without humans, yeah, right. Hey, so without humans helping you, or system, total disaster. And then I'm the very rare visionary that has high quick start and high follow through. So hit gas, pump brakes, say it, do it, say it, do it, say it, do it, say it, do it. Ultra focused. And then most humans, business owners, integrators, whatever, the follow through folks, most of society, the Canadian mindset, they are low quick start and high follow through. So they'll take the visionaries and then they'll follow through with it and make sure it actually gets done.
That's interesting, because I think you need both. And I think for those who are creative, because when I work in the world of innovation, you've got those people who are highly creative.
Yes.
And they can be some of them can be very, very focused, but some of them also can let other distractions come in and move them into different places, especially if this is really new to them, right? So that it's easy to distract them and move them into different places. So I do get that. I do. So, you keep talking about patterns in your life and how you activate them. I would love for you to give an example or two. Can you do that for us? How you've activated a pattern that you have, other than you're hyper focused. Yeah, but give us an example in real life.
Sure, happy to do that. And as background, Gallup, GALLUP, Clifton Strength Finders. That's another good test. My top one is activator. So I'm very little. Most people I talk to are ideators, with a mix of something that they'll do something. Now I'm pure do it.
Yeah, you said you're not very much of an ideator.
No, almost dead last. So most of my days talking to ideators, because that's a chance to find a collaborative strength, and then I can activate their ideas for them. Okay, so let me answer your actual question. So besides having right mindset attracts right network, creates right opportunities, second favorite pattern is I just keep making bigger investments to be in smaller rooms, but the people in those rooms are making bigger impact. That allows me to spend biggest investment in smallest room, which is my family, where I can make the most impact. Okay, so it's the same formula. And then the pattern evolving, where you create your own pattern, is just created on smaller room, bigger investment room. But the people in those rooms are making bigger impact. And that's all the second company is. That's all BrEpic Network is. It's a big investment, smaller room that is continually becoming a bigger room. And then the people in those rooms, they're all visionaries, no business owners, definitely not humans. It's only visionaries changing the world. And then almost all of them, there's a few that are, I guess, shorter quick starts, but almost all of them are 8, 9, or 10 quick starts, almost all of them.
You just left me with the best segue. And that was one thing that I wanted to make sure I got to, is to talk about the network. And just a little bit, and the business side of it. You're still doing the PR work through BrEpic Communications, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So will you share a little bit about your companies, if you will?
Oh, sure. Well, again, everything is a pattern. So the formula for creating a successful global company is simple. You see a problem, create solution, problem solve, successful global company. Okay, so first company, journalist for 20 years, created an entire company based on how PR firms annoyed me for 20 years. I don't know what PR firms do, they just bothered me, so created a solution. And then the problem I always hear is we're tired of being best secret. We want to be connected to more people like you who can interview people like them, and then they connect and then they do whatever they want with that. So that's all. It's a PR firm, I guess, but it's like a story simplifier, visionary connector, interview connector platform. Okay, so that's one. And then second company, annoyed by platforms that aren't all visionaries, because visionaries, it's a different way of living life. So we created platform, connecting visionaries to serve humanity. My partner who's in San Francisco, Mark Fujiwara, again, he's an empath, which is really rare for people. My wife is the COO. She's pure harmony relator. I just sit there and connect people all day, which I like to do anyway. And very grateful. We're about to be named one of top 5 masterminds on planet. We're scaling very quickly, and it's only for American mindsets, and we have folks from all over the world in it. So it's really, and I don't do anything except talk about it on shows like this, and then just connect people to it. I mean, it's just beautiful.
And it's an invitation only, but it's now when you say platform, is that really an online thing, or you're just saying that?
No, it's a platform. No, it's so thank you. And I'm glad you asked that, because like if I tried to build a SaaS platform, I'd electrocute myself. Like I can't. No, I'm tech illiterate. I still have a flip phone. I mean, I have an iPhone, but I have a flip phone for days off. But and like can't hold a pencil. It's really hard for me. But it's hard. I'm staring straight ahead just to show you how hard it is for me to stare straight ahead. But like my partner, again, he does 8 and 9 figure deals all day, but he's full backstage. And then he found the development team. I mean, so it's a connecting platform where people like post, hey, I need this. And then people connect them to this. And then we have virtual meetings, 90-minute virtual meetings a month that, again, I barely say anything. It's fantastic. My partner and my wife run the meetings, and then the members basically run the meetings, because it's what they can add value, or how they can add value, and what they need help with. And then my wife and partner and their whole team, my wife just hired her first person. They're planning the first big in-person event, which will be in Phoenix in May next year. So I don't do any of that stuff, but it's a beautiful platform. It's elegant.
You said there's global, there's people from all over the world. And so are they diverse in what kinds of spaces that
anything you could imagine? Yeah. Well, and whenever I write a third book, one of the chapters will be, this is from my friend, Chris Doty. This was his idea, or what he said, but diversity breeds amazing. Diversity breeds amazing.
It does.
And we're like the most, when I started this, I'm again, very low in ideation, very low, but if it's a good one, I know it is, and then activate. So when we started, I told Mark, Mark is of Japanese, Chinese American descent. And then my wife, obviously a woman, but I was very clear with them. We have to be incredibly diverse and have as many women entrepreneurs as possible. I'm very comfortable and confident saying that women entrepreneurs are better than men entrepreneurs overall. They usually don't let ego get in the way. Not always, but usually. Men let ego. Women are not like that. And for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I can confidently say we're the most diverse mastermind I've ever seen, ever. It's beautiful.
That's fantastic. That is, and I think, the person who introduced me to you was Andy Grider, and I think he said, he was giving me the numbers. How many, was it 1,200 or so, or did I have that wrong?
1,200 members?
Yeah.
No, there are not 12.
Wrong?
No.
Okay. So it's big.
12. It's we're almost at 40 now. Almost at 40.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I like that. I like that you said in your book that you like small rooms, and you've said that a couple of times here, and big visionaries, and smaller rooms, that you like to get into that sort of space. I have one more, and I wrote this down and I starred it in my notes. So I wanted to bring this back to you because I thought it was an interesting way of stating things. I'm not selling anything. I'm the buyer.
Right.
And maybe I paraphrased it, but that's the way that I wrote it down.
Right. Be the buyer. Yeah.
Yeah. And but basically it sounded, and the way I wrote it, and I wrote it for myself this way, is that I'm the buyer, I'm paid, but I'm only buying, investing in the people with whom I want to associate. So share a little bit more about that, and I will ask you our last question as we come to an end on this interview.
Thank you. Well, again, I think it's that 4-step thing: get to give to get, and then you get to the level of the visionary level, give to the people who get it. So I'll endlessly give to people like you because you get it, you have the right mindset, and then only want to hang out with the people who get it. And then those people, because they get it, they gladly invest. They want to be with other people who get it. And I mean, the company will scale itself because the people in there, they're just inviting their friends to join. So because they get it. And so then you just become the buyer of the people who understand it with the same formula: bigger investment, smaller room.
Yeah.
It's the same formula.
I kind of looked at that kind of the same way that I did when you switched over to calling clients partners. And it was like, for me, the light bulb was, you're not selling anything, you're buying. What you're buying is the right people that you want to be a part of your business. Correct. And that was such a mindset paradigm shift. Yeah. For me, I thought, wow, he has nailed this one. This is something every innovator, every entrepreneur out there needs to get. And if they can grab hold of that one nugget, I think that everything else will start to unfold. But 100%. You really hit that one on the head. And I want to kind of finish us up with that. And to ask you the question I always ask everybody, but I think I already know the answer because we talked about this, I think, before, which is, I'm a connector too, and as you are, but to ask you, are there any particular types of people, and I know visionaries is one of them, that you really want to meet? Who would excite you? What type of person would excite you to meet now? You can be cool people. Yeah.
The person I think, there are 3 people who I find fascinating. One is Matthew Bellamy. He's the lead singer of Muse, and in terms of an actual musician, that guy can do anything. He's just a pure genius. He's an entrepreneur who happens to be a musician. I mean, he's a pure visionary. Yeah. I do not agree with most of how he says most of the things that he says, but his interview style is among the best, if not the best in the world. That's Howard Stern. He's a genius. Yeah. Completely misunderstood. And I total businessman too. He knows what he's doing. He's a genius. Yeah, he's a genius. Okay. Yeah. And then 3, pure genius, James Altucher. Just a pure, that guy, I can't even imagine what his IQ is. And I just like to talk to really smart people like that. They don't have to be celebrities necessarily. But I'm just fascinated by big brains that see the world in the same way and an even more evolved way than I do, because that's how you learn. Again, what you said about how the book transitioned, I didn't even realize until you said it, but that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. That's the way I read it anyway. Yeah, I think you're right. I know you're right. That's just, that is correct. It's a pivot, but there you go. It's a pivot. Yeah. Yeah. It is. Justin, this has been enlightening. I knew it would be, and I appreciate it. I was kind of excited to be able to have you to myself, to be able to ask these questions, to be able to write down some notes that I am taking to heart. And I thank you for sharing in your book, the names of these tools. And for everybody out there who's listening, who already is like, I want this book, you can go to Amazon and pick it up. And you can also get the audio version at Amazon. Yes. So we will drop the link to that along with this interview in frontrunnersinnovate.com. If you want to go there, you'll get that. You'll get some information about Justin. You'll get a little bit more information about the book. And Justin, if you have the book cover, I'd love to have it, JPEG, if you've got that, and we can. Oh, I'll send it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And I want to say thank you to everybody, and you too, Justin. Appreciate it very much. And until next time, we'll say goodbye to everyone. Bye-bye.